Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall for the world to see. Pictures of you, pictures of me, remind us all of what we could have been. Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your...
Relive every moment true to life with True Capture technology, only from Canon.
From the moment Gary and Shirley Hamill of Longhorn YOUnique Tours picked me up at my Melbourne city centre hotel recently, I have to say very early one morning, in a very smart Land Rover Discovery, I knew I was in for a really superb day.
So where are we off to this morning then?
Just down the Great Ocean Road,
okay.
Out to the 12 Apostles, and a few stops on the way back. We'll have a look at some of the nice lookouts that overlook the Great Ocean Road, and a bit of luck maybe to see some wildlife.
Absolutely. Well, I think we better get going. It's a beautiful morning, I think.
Yes.
A little bit dark, but you do some early starts sometimes, don't you?
Yeah. We'll head out normally on the Great Ocean Road. We've left Melbourne by 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Normally about a 12 to 13 hour day.
Wow, so it's a long day, but it's an action-packed day.
It is, certainly is.
Really?
We like to go to a lot of the places that some of the other tours don't go to, so yeah, we like to think we fit in a lot of stuff that people wouldn't see otherwise.
Longhorn YOUnique Tours is a family-owned and operated tour operator based in Melbourne, operating amazing tours to some of Victoria's most outstanding locations, with Gary and Shirley Hamill establishing Longhorn YOUnique Tours because they are really passionate about Australia and want to share its natural beauty and history with all their guests. Well, here I am with Gary Hamill from Longhorn Tours, and where better this morning than on a beautiful winter's morning. And if anybody ever says to you, don't visit Victoria in the winter because it's cold and horrible and wet, look at today. Brilliant blue sky, unbelievable sunshine, great bracing breeze, and where better than here at the 12 Apostles. Gary, tell me a little bit about the 12 Apostles.
Well, they haven't always been called the 12 Apostles. Originally it was the Sow and Piglets. And if you were sailing along in one of the old sailing ships along the coastline, you would see the coastline as the Sow, okay, and all the Apostles, or the Piglets as they were called then, as feeding off the coastline. There's a lot of debate about how many there ever was. I've heard people say that if you fly over it in a helicopter, you'll actually see 13 bases. Okay. Now, if that's true, I don't know. It depends on what you're looking at.
Well, it depends how many beers you've had to drink.
It may have something to do with that with some people. There's been some collapses, and a lot of the limestone structures that you see along the coastline will actually form as a large thin or a long thin structure over a period of time. The wave action and wind action will eat out an archway underneath. Okay. So as that expands, we get a really subtle point in between, and eventually that collapses. So one apostle becomes two apostles.
Wow.
And I don't know, I think the camera's showing it up at the moment, but at the base of a lot of these apostles, you can actually see a larger dark patch.
Yeah. Well, that's where the wear is it?
That's how they wear away. The wave action and that can wear them away at a rate of about 2 centimetres a year. How long are they going to be there? The debate goes on forever, we don't know.
Let's go and have a closer look. Longhorn YOUnique Tours operates to a set of principles in which Gary and Shirley passionately believe, including providing the very best personalised service, only operating small groups, providing expert guides, always having minimal impact, and always showing respect for Indigenous culture. They also wanted to showcase the glorious locations of Australia, and especially Victoria, by giving Longhorn YOUnique Tour clients the opportunity to be part of their luxury tours to outstanding locations, including the Great Ocean Road, the 12 Apostles, the Great Otways National Park, the Grampians National Park, the Yarra Valley, and they also do tours to Central and Northern Australia.
Okay, Gary, well, this coast must be littered with stories, mustn't it? I mean, because thousands of people must have come along here, immigrants, sailing boats, whalers, you name it.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit of a story, because I reckon you're a bit of a story man, aren't you?
Some people say that. If we look along the coastline here, the furthest point that's out is called Moonlight Head. So back in the early 1800s, when Matthew Flinders was circumnavigating Australia, mapping it, just like in the traditional novels, it was a dark and stormy night. And it starts our story for Matthew Flinders too, because it was a dark and stormy night when he was sailing along here. And he lost his way and he didn't know where he was. And in one of the squalls, the clouds parted, the moon shone through, and it lit up that point up there. And he was able to realise that he was too close to the shoreline, and he was able to move out further into the ocean to avoid crashing. And he named that point Moonlight Head because it saved his life.
So I'm here with Gary Hamill, and I've had the amazing privilege of wandering around and looking at the 12 Apostles on the Great Ocean Road. But Gary's a tour operator based in Melbourne with a company called Longhorn Tours. He and his wife own the business. But tell me, what makes you different to other tour operators? There's loads of tour operators in Melbourne who all proclaim to do great tours, but I've got this funny feeling you guys are a bit different. And I think you is quite important in that, isn't it?
Yes, if you look at the spelling of the U, it's a play on words, and our ethos is where it's all about you. Mm-hmm. People that travel with us, we like to make them feel like they're a part of the family, or they're very, very good friends, and hopefully by the end of the tour they'll be both. Mm-hmm. We travel in luxury four-wheel drives, maximum of 6 guests. We believe that's the perfect size for a personalised service. Wherever we go, we try to use local produce, and we like to think that we visit the sites that the big tour groups don't get to.
So you sort of get off the beaten track a bit. You're not going to end up, in some places, bound to be, with lots of coaches and stuff, but there are lots of other places you go to where there's just you.
Yes, on our 2-day tour, we head up into the Otway Ranges where we'll visit rainforest walks, waterfalls, and these are places that a lot of the big tour companies can't go to. Their buses just don't fit. So to travel with us in our small groups, it's ideal. And we give a more personalised service. We like to think that if we've got 6 people, it's a much better way to communicate with people.
How much flexibility do you have in your programs? Because I know you've got sort of, not set programs, but it says the Grampians or the Yarra or combined or whatever. But if somebody really has a thing about, say, birds or, whales or dolphins, can they get to see those?
Depending on the time of the year and what's around, we'll build the tour around the customer. We will do our very best to find the attractions that suit their needs. So if someone, for argument's sake, wants to see the whales, we may have to sacrifice something at the start of the tour, but that's perfect for those people if we can get further up the coastline to see the whales. We are fully flexible. Now we're now standing in the middle of the ancient rainforest. Right in front of us here, we've got one of the beautiful messmates, and these trees were prized by the loggers that came through these areas. As I said about Maitland Bryant, he's the man that recognised the beauty of this area, and he was able to protect this area.
Longhorn YOUnique Tours believe that passionate touring with these principles will make Longhorn YOUnique Tours a memorable experience that will last long after the tour has ended. They stress that a Longhorn YOUnique Tour has to be all about you and this wonderful country, and yes, that's right, a unique tour. For more information, visit www.longhorntours.com.au.